What's up? It's new me. I got on here because why? I said I was going to update you guys and try to do it weekly regarding like what's going on with Msap. So I just completed my 3rd week and yay, 1 more week to go, and then we have our final after that. So I'm now starting my 4th week today, which is Monday. And just so you know, these are not recorded in real time because of the pace of everything. Like, I can't record it in real time. So I usually wait until after the complete week has, where the week has completed, and then I'll make the video to tell you how that week went. So today's date, what is today? Oh, today is July 17th, just so you can have some reference of when the 3rd week started, which was last week, and now we're in the 4th week. So our test for the 4th week is of course Sunday, and then we have our final exam on Wednesday, so I don't have a lot of time to prepare for it. But anyway, for 3rd week, it was probably about the same for 2nd and 3rd week as far as content, as far as difficulty. I really was exhausted after 2nd week, and I just kind of felt like, gee whiz, this is really a lot. And I kind of started asking myself, like, do I really want to go through this? Because this is just the beginning, you know. Med school is going to be 4 years of this. And then, of course, your residency is 3 to 4 years, depending on what you want to do. And some people even go on to do fellowships and all of that kind of stuff. So, you know, I was like, wow, I have a long road ahead, and I'm already getting like overwhelmed, not really overwhelmed, but just like burnt out from the amount of stuff. And I talked to one of the students that previously did the Msap course, and they were saying, yeah, you're gonna feel like that at first because this is just so much stuff thrown at you, and you're kind of like you're cramming everything in a week, and then you're taking a test, so it feels like that. But they said medical school, when you go, at least at St. George, which I'll be entering term 1 because I am going into term 1, so it's not as bad. It's still a lot, but it's not as bad because you have a lot more time to prepare for your exam that you're going to have on that particular module. But you have a lot more information to cover, and you're going to have labs to attend. You may have study sessions to attend. So you're going to have a lot more potentially to do, which can make it still feel like it's a, you know, like it's too much, you know, but it's manageable as long as you have a schedule. So they were just saying that, you know, Msap, it's just giving you a small taste of really what term 1 would be like. You can't really compare it because when you're in Msap, your only focus is Msap. When you're in med school, term 1, your focus is, you know, your work that you're doing along with labs and study sessions and, you know, whatever else is going on. So they're kind of they are two different things, but Msap is giving you a little taste of how it feels to have so much stuff to do and how to be able to do time management and all of that stuff, so to make sure that you know, can keep up with it and still do well. So, you know, when we took our test yesterday, at least for me, I felt like this test was probably the most difficult test out of all the tests that we've taken so far. And on our social media website on Facebook that we've created for ourselves to just communicate and talk about whatever, you know, everybody has said the same thing about, not everybody, but I would say greater than 50% of people were saying that it was probably the hardest test. It was definitely a lot more 2nd order questions. And if you don't know the difference between 1st order, 2nd order, 3rd order questions, basically 1st order questions are going to be like, you know, what is this? And you just answer it. 2nd order questions are going to be like, they will give you a small scenario, and then it will say like, you know, this person is having pain in this quadrant, and then they'll give you like specific symptoms and a specific area, and then they'll say what is more than likely the cause. That's more like 2nd order. Third order questions is like a whole paragraph that you have to figure out what they're asking, because they're throwing like maybe 3 or 4 different components at you. And we haven't had a third order question yet, but I was told at the finals we'll probably have a couple of those just so they can see how we answer them. And of course they'll be graded and they do go towards your grade. So you have to be prepared for it. So each test has been getting definitely a lot tougher, which I expected that. I would hope that as an assessment course it would do that. But it's doable, and I definitely appreciate this opportunity to be able to even be a part of Msap. I think it's a wonderful program. I'm glad that they have this program to assess the students to see if they're prepared to go into term 1. I mean, I am assessing myself the whole time I'm doing this, and I'm asking myself, this is what I want to do. I want to make sure that when I go into term 1 that I'm ready to do it and all of that kind of stuff. Am I ready to put 100% like all the time for the next 2 years at least? So I mean, it helps you even assess yourself. So they're assessing you to see your preparation for that, but you can also assess yourself to see if you're prepared. So I think that's a good thing too. But yeah, the third week I think is still doable. It is difficult, because of all the information, and physiology is definitely, in my opinion, probably the most difficult throughout this course. I was told even just in general it's going to be difficult throughout med school because of the way how they approach it. I actually appreciate the way that they approach it because most of the time as a student, I know for me and my experience, I would say for undergrad, even some post-baccalaureate classes, everything is kind of given to you in a PowerPoint, where you just follow the PowerPoint. If you attend the lectures and all of that, you may not have an understanding of what's going on or what they're talking about, but you can memorize it. And so when you get a question on the test, you're doing these tests based off of memorization. And that can really only take you so far. So what I really appreciate about physiology is that it causes you to think about the process. Think about what's happening. What happens if this goes wrong or that goes wrong? What would happen? And, I appreciate that, because then we actually get a question regarding whatever part of the body or system that they're talking about. You're able to visually see it in your mind, and that helps you determine what the answer may be, because sometimes the answers are tricky. And sometimes you think that one may be the answer, but it's a little wording in there that may make it another answer. But because you only memorize things, you don't have an understanding, you probably will get it wrong, But if you have an understanding of it, then more than likely you'll get it right. So that's what I really appreciated about the physiology component of Msap. At first, when I was introduced to that in biochemistry, doing my post-baccalaureate time, it was tough because I wasn't used to thinking like that. I was used to people just feeding me things and me memorizing. So I was glad that now that I had that experience with biochemistry, and now I'm getting more of that now, I'm like, this is good. This is good, because it'll start to train your mind to be an active thinker all the time. And so that's kind of what I like about physiology. But it's definitely by far the hardest of all the courses. And but you have to have an understanding. How are you going to be a physician if you don't understand how the body works? So that's basically it. I kind of don't want to make these videos too long because it's just an update of how the week went. So now I'm in my 4th week. I will come back and let you guys know how that goes. I'm rooting for A for this test coming up. Yay, I hope so. I'm claiming it that I'm going to get an A, because I want to get an A in the course. So that's my goal. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.